Hey guys, welcome to another podcast. Um, another, I did it again. Welcome to another episode of Blake's Everyday Podcast. Last night we ended on Genesis chapter 8. So, today we'll pick it up at Genesis chapter 9. And wow, I can tell you today, I have a really not so great of a day, to be honest with you. Uh, it took me a minute to really want to get into this podcast, just because I was really kind of down today. Had a lot of trouble with work, and I was sitting there stressed out. Just feeling the blues basically, and I don't know. And then I was like, you know what? Everything is just in God's plan. If this is what's meant to be, then it is to be. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. I try to do my everything to continue doing what I can do in my line of work, but we'll see what happens. I'm not saying nothing, but just a downer of a day, you know what I mean? And I'm sure everybody has those, and I'm still here. I'm still reading the gospel, and that is what it's all about. And we can all thank the Lord for that. And we can thank Jesus Christ for, dying on the cross for our sin. We lived through him. So no matter how down you are today, just open your Bible and read the book. That's all we can do. Pray for everything that you can, and, just keep moving. And that's what I'm doing tonight. Down on my luck, but it's not. I'm talking like I lost my job, but I didn't lose my job. Let's go ahead and open to Genesis chapter 8. I don't know if anybody else chapter 9. I don't know if anybody else had watched the State of the Union or anything. I kept an eye on it, but I didn't really listen, to be honest with you. I'm so just fed up with the news that I'm just, I mean, trust me, I keep my eyes on other things, but what can you do? I mean, when you look at it, it's just like, yeah, everything's going to happen anyways, so just read the good book. Do what you were brought here for, and that's to lead your family to Jesus. Read the gospel, be a man of Christ, be a woman of Christ, whatever it needs to be. Do what you need to do. That's what we were brought here to the earth for, and there's no reason in stressing out over things. Everything's gonna work out. Everybody gets down on their luck sometimes. But enough of my rambling and my self-pity. We're going to go ahead and head to Genesis chapter 9. Hopefully we can read pretty far into it tonight. I don't know how long the chapters are. But we'll figure that out as we go, right? I mean, that's the point. But man, so Genesis chapter 9, the title is God's Covenant with Noah. Then God blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth. The fear and dread of you will fall on all the beasts of the earth, and on all the birds in the sky, on every creature that moves along the ground, and on all the fish in the sea. They are given into your hands. Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. But you must not eat meat that has its lifeblood still in it. And for your lifeblood, I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal and from each human being. 2. I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being. Whoever sheds human blood, by humans shall their blood be shed. For in the image of God has God made mankind. Now, I actually did. So, I watched a movie with my daughter tonight, and it was such a good movie. My daughter is 7. We watched Light of the World, and I don't think it's very well known, but it's one of the greatest little kids Bible movies that I've ever seen. It was so inspiring. My daughter even cried, and she doesn't cry she cries a lot, but usually not over movies. It was so good that it moved her to even cry for the movie. And it honestly kind of made me tear up just seeing her cry. But it showed, where they crucified Jesus and stuff. And it's animation and stuff. It didn't show all the craziness, but I mean, it was amazing, and it honestly taught me some things. Just watching that little movie with her, it was a great movie, and I think everybody should watch that movie. To be honest with you, it was great. But one thing that I read in there is men who, obviously when Jesus was getting taken away, and Peter stepped up, and he lunged at them. He goes, Peter, no. God, men who live by the sword die by the sword. So, I was like, that was pretty cool. I just thought I would kind of talk about that movie. Not like this is like a paid program for it, but it was a great movie, and if anybody is interested in watching that, they should, because it's very empowering for little kids. One thing that me and my wife do is we try to not show our kids any of these crazy TV shows or movies, and we try to most of the movies that we try to put on are somewhat biblical, have some kind of biblical meaning to them, and we don't let our kids play video games or anything like that. I don't think that's a good thing to start off with. Not saying that video games are bad or anything. I know I have plenty of friends that have their kids on video games and stuff, but I guess it's just a personal preference. A lot of video games these days are just over the top. So, which they were back in the day too. But I remember back when I was a kid playing like Madden and like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I mean, compared to Call of Duty or something, that's window dressing, So you look at it like that. Yeah, our generation was a little bit different. But so back to it. Sorry for rambling again. So whoever sheds human blood, by humans shall their blood be shed. For in the image of God has God made mankind. As for you, be fruitful and increase in number, multiply on the earth and increase upon it. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you, every living creature on earth. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on earth. So God said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on earth. So, and we're not even to chapter 10 yet, but one thing that I wanted to talk about is, this is basically a sign from God that he's not gonna bring floodwaters back to the earth to wipe out all of human life or all of life in its existence, and here we are treating the rainbow like it's some kind of LGBTQ flag. We ought to wave that thing proudly with a big old cross on it, and that's not what it means. Come on now. Why did we let them take that away from us? Sorry about that. We'll continue, though. The Sons of Noah. That is the title of this. After that. It's still not chapter 10, but we're still on chapter 9, but it does have another title. The Sons of Noah. The sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham was the father of Canaan. These were the three sons of Noah, and from them came the people who were scattered over the whole earth. Noah, a man of soil, proceeded to plant a vineyard. When he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and lay uncovered inside his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside, but Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders. Then they walked backward and covered their father's naked body. Their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father naked. When Noah awoke from his wine and found out what his youngest son had done to him, he said, Cursed be Canaan. The lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers. He also said, Praise be to the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend Japheth's their territory. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be the slave of Japheth. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. Noah lived a total of 950 years, and then he died. Okay. So that was the end of chapter 9. End in a pretty crazy way. Yeah. We'll go ahead and just go to the description. So Genesis chapter 9, verses 1 through 17. Noah and his family were the only people left after the flood. The comforts of civilization had been washed away. They had to start all over again. God gave Noah his special blessing and instituted a plan that, if followed, would result in a healthy society. God has given us his word, which contains the ultimate blueprint for healthy living. And just as God gave the human race a new start with Noah, he can give each of us a new start too. Genesis chapter 9, verses 9 through 13. God assigned Noah the monumental task of rebuilding human society on earth, but God didn't just hand Noah the task and walk away. As we see in this passage, God gave Noah hope and set a rainbow in the sky as a seal of his promise. As we are rebuilding our lives and keeping God's design, we can be sure that God will support us with his presence and promises. And we should keep an eye out for the rainbows along the way. God often leaves us signs to remind us of his loving presence and care. So Genesis chapter 9, 20 through 21, with all the talk of Noah's righteousness and his fellowship with God, it is surprising to read that by his choice, he fell prey to the excess of alcohol. The account of Noah's drunkenness and shame comes as a shock to the reader, but it is a reminder that even in ideal conditions, it is easy for us to slip and fall. We can never relax and feel as if we have made it. Well, as if we have it made. For that is when he becomes most vulnerable in sin. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. When you get comfortable, I guess, that's when everything kind of goes into the toilet. That's just one of those things. That's one thing that really kind of surprised me too, like the description said, which comes to surprise to the reader. No doubt. I am definitely surprised. But it does make sense. You know, everybody goes through things differently, and I know it was no different for Noah. We all have trials, and me and Noah's trial is one of the same. I have a problem with drinking, and Noah did too, which, you know, and it's nothing to be proud of, but everybody has their faults, and Noah had a fault as well, even though he was now going to be appointed to being the second father of human civilization. But we're going to continue reading at Genesis chapter 10, the Table of Nations. This is the account of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, who themselves had sons after the flood. The Japhethites, the sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Ripath, and Togarmah, the sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, the Kittites, and the Rodanites. From these, the maritime peoples spread out into their territories by their clans within their nations, each with its own language. The Hamites, the sons of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan, the sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Sabtika, the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The first centers of his kingdom were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Calneh, and Shinar. From the land he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Kala, and Rezin, which is between Nineveh and Kala, which is the great city. Egypt was the father of the Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, Naphtuhites, Pathrusites, Keslites, from which the Palestines came, and Caphrahites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Arkites, Snitters, Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamathites. Later, the Canaanite clan scattered, and the border of Canaan reached from Sidon toward Gerar as far as Gaza, and then toward Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, by their clans and languages and their territories and nations. The Semites' sons were also born to Shem, whose older brother was Japheth. Shem was the ancestor of all the sons of Eber. The sons of Shem: Elam, Asher, Arphax, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram: Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Arphax was the father of Shelah, and Shelah the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his time the earth was divided. His brother was named Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almadad, Shelef, Hazarmaveth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jabab. All these were the sons of Joktan. The region where they lived stretched from Mesha towards Sephir and the eastern hill country. These are the sons of Shem, by their clans and languages and their territories and nations. These are the clans of Noah's sons, according to their lines of descent, within their nations, from these nations spread out over the earth after the flood. Wow. So if you ever ask me to repeat any of those names, I will get them wrong 100% of the time, unless somebody corrects me or something, which I don't exactly expect anybody to help me out there, but that was crazy. Wow, so many names, so much mispronunciation. I think I pronounced that right. Maybe I didn't, but here's a description for chapter 10. Chapter 10, verses 1 through 32. This chapter is often called the Table of Nations. It is refreshing to realize that the God we worship is not a local deity. He is sovereign over all ethnic and language groups, nations, and political entities. The God who holds kings and empires in his hands surely has the power to hold us too. All right. So now we are on chapter 11. I'm just going to check here, see kind of if I can estimate how far we're actually going to get into this thing. Yeah, we're going to do pretty good, I think, today. Why not, Why not go for it? I didn't realize that we were already 25 minutes in, but no problem. We will keep it going. I'm going to take a quick sip, though, real quick. All right. Chapter 11, The Tower of Babel is the title. The Tower of Babel is the title. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the earth, over the face of the whole earth. Wow. So he basically said, that ain't happening, and just scattered them all over the place, and everybody learned their own language instead of knowing, just one language. Made them basically incoherent to each other. Makes sense. From Shem to Abram, this is the account of Shem's family line. 2 years after the flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he became the father of Arphaxad. And after he became the father of Arphaxad, Shem lived 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad had lived 35 years, he became the father of Shelah. And after he became the father of Shelah, Arphaxad lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Shelah had lived 30 years, he became the father of Eber. And after he became the father of Eber, Shelah lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Eber had lived 34 years, he became the father of Peleg. And after he became the father of Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg had lived 30 years, he became the father of Reu. And after he became the father of Reu, Peleg lived 209 years and had other sons and daughters. When Reu had lived 32 years, he became the father of Serug. And after he became the father of Serug, Reu lived 207 years and had other sons and daughters. And when Serug had lived 30 years, he became the father of Nahor. And after he became the father of Nahor, Serug lived 200 years and had other sons and daughters. When Nahor had lived 29 years, he became the father of Terah. And after he became the father of Terah, Nahor lived 119 years and had other sons and daughters. After Terah lived 70 years, he became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So what I'm seeing here is basically they're not living as far along as they used to. And I think that's kind of a point in the Bible. I think that, the age eventually starts to dwindle down there. But you can just see it as you read it. Basically, he says, like, Shem lived 500 years after he had Arphaxad. And then Shelah lived 403 years. And then 430. And then it goes down to 209, down to 207, and then to 200, and then 119. I mean, it's steadily going down other than that 403 to 430. But everybody else was kind of going down in number for their age. But Abram's family, this is the account of Terah's family line. Terah became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran became the father of Lot. While his father Terah was still alive, Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans, and the land of his birth. Abram and Nahor both married the name of Abram's wife. They both married. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai. I just made that sound terrible. But they both married. The name of Abram's wife, though, was Sarai. And the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah. Milcah? She was the daughter of Haran, the father of both Milcah and Iscah. Now Sarai was childless because she was not able to conceive. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, the wife of his son Abram, and together they set out from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. Terah lived 205 years, and he died in Haran. So, that is the end of chapter 11. We do have some descriptions here. I am ready to get through these big names, to be honest with you. It is quite the difficulty for me to get through these, especially because I got like some kind of Midwest Southern draw. So it's not even like, it's not Southern. It's not, well, it's a little Southern, but it's not so far Southern. And then you got the Midwest in me because I'm originally from Kansas. So you got that Kansas language too. So, I mean, I'm already mumbling, especially with my rambling, but bear with me. It's a combination of my my language, or whatever you want to call it. But chapter 11, verses 3 through 4, whatever else the Tower of Babel might have represented, it was a mighty monument to human pride. It was a symbol of man's rebellion against the revealed will of God. This type of pride is always destructive to human community and to God's plan of redemption. Now, I mean, if anybody's been following up with current events, I mean, pretty sure, like, isn't that whole Jeffrey Epstein thing about, like, sacrifices to, like, Babel or something? But I'm not going to get into all that. We're reading the Bible, okay? keep it at that. Keep it going. So, chapter 11, verses 5 through 9, the Tower of Babel incident records the progression of broken communication. That began back in the Garden of Eden. After sin entered the world, Adam and Eve began to hide the truth. They tried to blame each other and God for their mistakes, resulting in separation from God and barriers between that first couple. The sinful pride of the people of Babel caused another great rift in human communication. Numerous languages now divided them into various groups, making their cooperation difficult, if not impossible. But the story doesn't end there. God is in the business of restoring broken communication. He chose the nation of Israel and spoke to them, giving them his laws. His son was born through his nation so he could speak to us and walk among us. And when the Holy Spirit came at Pentecost, the diverse of the language was no longer a barrier to communication. Acts chapter 2, verses 5 through 12. Following God's plan enhances our communication with Him and the people around us. I don't think I'm right about the Babel thing now that I think about it, but that's why I don't talk about stuff on here. I'll just keep it to sports, because I don't do enough learning with the whole politics and the Epstein files. I mean, I see videos and all that crazy stuff, and it's just terrible what's going on in the world today. We all just need to pray. I mean, it's insane how demonic this world has come, and we all need to just have Jesus. I mean, honestly, the craziness is just overbearing. And what do you do? I mean, it's all part of the book. We're gonna see all this happen. So just hang tight, buckle up. So, but chapter 12, well, we might not see. Who knows? Maybe it's the next generation or the next one. Every generation gets it wrong, and nobody will ever know when he's going to come. So, chapter 12, the call of Abram. The Lord had said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." So Abram went to the Lord. So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he set out for Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran. And they set out for the land of Canaan. And they arrived there. Abram traveled through the land as far as the site of the great tree of Moreh at Shishim. At that time, the Canaanites were in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. Man. From there he went on toward the hills east of Bethel and pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. When Abram set out and continued continued toward the Negev. Abram in Egypt. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to live there for a while because the famine was severe. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife, Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. When Abram came to Egypt, the Egyptians saw that Sarai was a very beautiful woman. And then Pharaoh's officials saw her. They praised her to Pharaoh, and she was taken into his palace. He treated Abram well for her sake, and Abram acquired sheep and cattle, male and female donkeys, male and female servants, and camels. But the Lord inflicted serious diseases on the Pharaoh and his household because of Abram's wife Sarai. So Pharaoh summoned Abram. What have you done to me? He said. Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, so that I took her to be my wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go. Then Pharaoh gave orders about Abram to his men, and they sent him on his way with his wife and everything he had. Wow. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. I definitely wouldn't pretend that my wife was my sister just to get through things, but I don't know. It's just craziness. Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. We may wonder what Abram expected the promised land to be like. In this passage, we see that he arrived to find the land ravaged by famine. It probably wasn't what he had expected or hoped for, but it was the place that God had intended for him and his descendants. There will be times when things are difficult. We may need to do things that we are not comfortable doing. But we need to follow God even when his plan doesn't lead us down the paths we had expected or hoped for. Yeah, I mean, life's a challenge, and you're not going to be comfortable all the time, and most things are going to be difficult. Not just some things, but most things are going to be difficult, and it's important for us to work through those things and just follow God, because his plan, it's not going to lead us down the paths that we had expected, just like they say. But Genesis chapter 12, verses 11 through 13, the lie that Abram told here showed that he lacked faith in God. He didn't believe that God would protect him, so he took things into his own hands. We may feel that a little lie is justified if it is, but all lies reap long-term consequences. It is best to trust God to protect us as we tell the truth. The God of truth will stand with us as we dare to speak the truth. I mean, like I was saying just a minute ago, I think, lying about your wife being your sister to get through that challenge is a little extreme. I don't think I could ever do that, to be honest with you. I couldn't imagine going through that situation, because, obviously he thought he was going to die if the Pharaoh knew that she was his wife. But I just don't see it. I don't think I could ever just go, this is my sister, take care of her, even though she's my wife. No, there's no way. I would take any consequence and do whatever I need to do. Maybe that would result in my death, but there's no way I'm gonna be. I don't know what the word is, but there's no way I'm gonna be handing off my wife like that. But that was the end. We did finish up until chapter 13. So tomorrow we will start off on Genesis chapter 13. I do appreciate everybody listening. I needed this tonight. I really did. It's been a heck of a day. I needed to get away for a minute. It's definitely late here, and we made it through another day. I mean, how happy can we be? We can be as happy as we should be, as happy as we can be, because we made it through another day. Can't be mad at the day. It's Tuesday. It's the second Monday of every week, as I like to say. But things happen with life, and I don't know what went on with your day. I hope it was better than most days. I hope you had a great day, a blessed day, and I hope you have a great Wednesday. I'm praying for you. I hope everything goes well for you. And let's end it there. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.